Alright, all you trash kickers, this is TBrown0065. Welcome back to another discussion episode here. This story is very concerning because it shows how incredibly sensitive society has become nowadays. They've gotten so sensitive to a point where they had to get the government to step in, like to help accommodate the overly sensitive people. Now, what am I talking about here specifically? Well, there was an incident that took place in Ireland, which is in Europe, where there's a teacher named Enoch Burke who specializes in teaching history, politics, and German, who was jailed for misgendering a transgender student by referring to him as they instead of him. Okay? Now, what happened was that he was initially suspended, which prohibited him from being on campus, but because of the fact that the teacher violated that order, well, guess what? They reported him to the authorities. He was arrested, and he got charged. And what happened was that when he appeared in court, he told the judge that transgenderism is against his Christian beliefs. Okay? Now, my comment about that is that if you get charged for any crime and then you use religion as an excuse in court, your judge is not going to buy it. They're going to say, well, I'm sorry, but your religion does not give you a free pass to do stuff that you did. You know, you still got to face the consequences. I mean, that's how courts are. Okay? Now, my thoughts about the situation when it comes to Enoch Burke is that I've heard a story about a father who was jailed for referring to his biological daughter as she. And that happened in Canada. Okay, what happened was that the daughter, she got the court involved to order the father to use a different pronoun, but he refused to comply, and then he got jailed. I mean, like, could you imagine if that were to be brought into the United States? Now, realistically, if you tried to get the court involved, they're most likely going to turn you down and say, well, yeah, but this is a violation of the Constitution, okay? I mean, think about what would happen if, like, let's say the court were to side with the person who's doing the complaints. Like, what do you think is going to happen then? And the one who's doing the misgendering, like, imagine if he gets prosecuted. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Well, it sets a bad precedent, okay? Like, means that more people are going to get jailed, and, you know, facilities would fill up. And then what do you think is going to happen with people who commit more heinous crimes, okay? Like robbing banks, killing people, so on and so forth. Like, what do you think is going to happen then? Answer is they're going to get away, okay? They'll get away with the terrible things that they've done, you know, because of the fact that the facilities are full and, you know, they can't place any more criminals in the facilities. So it's like, you know, you had to choose, like, who would you prosecute? Would you prosecute someone for misgendering someone, or would you rather prosecute someone for robbing a bank? I would go with option B, someone who robs a bank, okay? Because robbing a bank is more serious than misgendering someone, okay? When you misgender someone, that shouldn't even be a criminal offense, okay? Now, look, if someone were to say, hey, I prefer to be referred to as he or she, you know, not the other pronoun that you used, then alright, fine, I'm not going to hit you for that. But what I am against is when you had to get the court involved. That's the stuff that I'm against, okay? Because, yeah, that violates people's rights. That violates democracy. And without democracy, society can't function, okay? And here's the question I got for you, okay? When it comes to these draconian laws, okay? I mean, as I said before, if I didn't mention it already, in the United States, the court would turn you down saying that, that's a violation of the First Amendment, so on and so forth. But, the thing about Canada is that they like to follow what Europe is doing, okay? We're seeing Europe turn into China, okay? China is a communist country, okay? You do not have democracy. You have dictatorship, and Europe is turning into that. Could you imagine if the United States were like that? Things would be a total mess, okay? And yeah, that should make you very concerned, okay? I mean, and who do you think would be in favor of these draconian laws, okay? Answer is the liberals, which I call them the libtards, because they're like on the far left of the political spectrum. I mean, I've talked about it in my video about liberals and conservatives, where the problem with people these days is that they're either on the far left or the far right, okay? And being on either side of the spectrum is very problematic, because then you're going to make bad judgments, okay? And as far as this story is concerned, this is no exception to the rule. People who are like the radical leftists, which I refer to as the libtards, they celebrate the teacher getting jailed for misgendering another person. That's how the libtards are. Okay, they're totally fine with it. Do you see conservatives celebrating it? No. Conservatives are like, no, this person should not be jailed. This is a threat to democracy, so on and so forth. So I don't know, man. It's very concerning. As I've said in many of my other discussion videos, society can't function without democracy. Okay? Like, where are we heading towards? Like, I don't know, this is, we're heading in a wrong direction, and you should be very concerned. This is TBrown0065 signing out. I hope that all of you have a good one.